Okay. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Cast Strength. This is, I don't know what episode this is. Maybe 43, do I remember?
48.
48. Welcome to episode 48. Just a little bit of relaxation and comedy during what may be a time of isolation for many of you. With me, as always, the fantastic Brad.
I haven't noticed any difference in my lifestyle, actually. I don't know if that's depressing or what, but nothing's really changed for me. What that says about me, I don't know.
And everyone knows Vito, the third host of our show.
Hello, I am Canadian.
Screwing his hair out again at the top. It's nice.
Got those hair plugs, man.
Sure.
Shout out for the good stuff.
Is there anybody watching us?
I don't know. There's one person watching us.
One person. Well,
whoever you are.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Love you.
Kirk.
People have better things to do. You know,
Cheers, buddy.
They're locked in their house with no outside social life. Clearly, they have better things to do than watching us on YouTube. It's fine. It's fine. No judging.
Hey, Mike. Hey, Kirk. And hello, Peter.
Sounds like
hope you guys are well.
Mike, Kirk, and Peter, folk singers to the stars.
That's a band right there.
It is. Could be.
So, Brad, what have you in your glass right now?
Right now, I've got Talisker Storm. I hadn't had Talisker stuff in a little while, so I just pulled out a bunch of the Talisker things that I had because I couldn't think of anything better.
Yeah, that's a good thing. I know you like Talisker a little bit.
A little bit. I'm slightly biased towards Talisker, sure.
And
I didn't get out all of my Talisker things, so I only have like 6 or 7 bottles beside me.
Oh,
Ed.
Yes.
Sorry, Vito, what have you got?
Yes.
What have you got in your glass down there?
Or VTED or Edto.
Edto, VTED.
What's the like in Dragon Ball Z when they do the fusion dance? Ha! And then they
my god, you guys totally have to do that.
They become one person and they mix their names.
But if you fuck it up, you turn into a really fat pudgy one.
Yeah, exactly. And if you really fuck it up, you just turn into Vito.
Yikes.
But yeah, no.
Well, he's not even here to defend himself.
I know.
That's a good call, actually. That's safe.
I'm addicted. But no, I am drinking Spirit Hound. This is their straight malt whiskey from Lyons, Colorado. It's a 2-year-old single barrel. And this is like the Glenmorangie of Colorado.
Huh.
It's really nice. For something done in New Charred Oak, it is super, super Glenmorangie-y. So
nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, Benjamin Eves showed up. Hey.
Is that where Stranahan's is out of as well, if I recall?
Stranahan's is out of it's just south of Denver. So Lyons is northwest of Denver.
Okay. So Colorado was what I was just thinking.
Colorado. Yeah.
I mean, everything in Colorado is like 20 minutes away from each other, right?
Well, it's funny. Me and Erica were in Colorado. We hit a bunch of distilleries while we were there, but we just happened to stop at a gas station, and the building next to a gas station had a giant sign that just said whiskey. No, and we just walked on in, and it turned out to be Spirit Hound Distillers, which is a really fantastic whiskey. So it was kind of a nice find.
Had Sweet. Me a giant sign.
Mm-hmm. It didn't even have a brand on it. It didn't even have like a brand like Spirit Hound Distillers, blah blah blah. No, it just said whiskey.
Awesome.
Well,
awesome.
You have to know your audience. You know? Sometimes that's just what the people want.
Exactly. That's all the people want.
Yeah. Sweet Tea, Benjamin, Mark, how's it going, guys? Glad to see you here. And yes, it is a wonderful world we are living in these days, Sweet Tea. Trying to make the best of it by watching the most professional whiskey stream available.
Yeah.
And when you're done watching them, you can watch us. It's fun. What else do you got to do?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big sample of the Tally 15 Peter. Who are you sending that to, Peter? What are you talking about here, guy? Do I smell sample?
Oh, are samples happening? I like samples. I've been known to drive a few hours to get samples from people.
I really love the new Talisker labeling and the Laga. And for what it's worth, I believe, what was the other one? The Kragenmore? No.
I don't know.
Anyways, I can't think of what it is now.
Fittick just did a rebranding. I don't know if that's what you're.
You sent to Brad as it's not available in the US. I do not have any. Oh, wait, you know what? I think I did go on a split on the Talisker 15 with Vito and potentially someone
Holding
else.
out on me with Talisker. I see how it is.
I don't physically have it here, but I think that we did do a bottle split from, and Dave may have picked it up.
Nice.
Dave's not here to rescue me as usual. Dave is my resource for everything. I just refer to Dave whenever I forget.
Fair. He's good for that.
Yeah. So, what was I gonna? I had a brief question. Oh, yes, Ed. In your travels, what's the best, most unique, most interesting, coolest story, standout liquor store you've been to?
Oh, okay. Liquor store?
Not including where you work, just to cover yourself legally, so you don't have to answer where you work, you know.
Yeah. Well, actually, fun story about that. I asked them to take me off the schedule for the time being, not because I'm worried about getting sick, but we've got a lot of old people who come into our store, and I just feel like it's immoral to just keep the store open.
Sure.
They want to run the store, that's fine, but my ass doesn't want to be a part of it. Like, that's just not because I don't need the work or need the money. It's just that I don't know. I just feel like if you're not an essential business right now, and that includes liquor stores, unfortunately, like, why the fuck are you open right now? Oh, excuse me.
Fully agreed.
Yeah, but
fully agreed.
Okay, I'm trying to think. Honestly, the one thing I will say for Texas is that's the fun thing about going down to Texas for me is that they have so many extra things that every liquor store I walk into down there has stuff I never get to see up here. So like just walking into a regular old Specs down there, I was just like, oh my God, they have Hibiki for $30 cheaper than I can get it. And they have Mortlock for like half price. And they have this and that and the other thing. So like, I don't know. I get excited about relatively blasé things, I guess.
Dude, you're talking to many people who live in Ontario. Like at pretty much 90% of tribe posts I see with prices make me either cry or just laugh or just so I can imagine.
I was talking to Donald Rance the other night on the St. Patty's Day stream, and he was saying he gets really good access to a lot of like Irish whiskeys that we never see. But like all of his scotch, all the scotch up there is like 2 to 3 times the price of what we have down here.
Oh yeah,
like that.
Even so, I forget where Donald is. He's out. Is he in Manitoba?
I'm not sure. I thought he said something about like the Liquor Control Board of Ontario. I don't know.
Yeah. So it's so weird. It honestly is really weird. On the whole, across the whole board, we have a fairly poor selection, and what we do have is super high priced. Yeah. But there are these weird little things that all of a sudden we'll have a ton of for super cheap. And again, it's an example I always use, but Weller 107, $30 Canadian. and we had tons of it. Right, like just for an example, when I know a lot of places in the States, it's going for ridiculous price and they're not in stock and that does happen a lot. Like we get a lot of Blantons when it comes in. We do get a lot of bourbon, but Scotch, even in Alberta, which is the cheapest prices across the board on average by far in our country, the Scotch is still considerably more expensive than it is stateside. So
that is weird.
And it's half price in Alberta generally for the most part of what it is.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like in Ontario, we're paying $200 for Corey or Oogie.
Really?
$200.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's like what 170 or whatever US. Like
sure.
Yeah.
I mean
200 Canadian, but yeah, still.
And
it's crazy.
Okay, Donald is from Toronto. That's good. I'd love to meet up with him sometime, actually. So thanks, Peter, for letting me know that. And Irish whiskey prices are pretty fair in Ontario. I'd have to ask Graham, actually, who just picked up a nice little selection there, Mr. Thurston. He picked up one of the new 12-year cask strength Redbreast. So, and for us, it's usually about $100. And all things considered, that's a steal in my eyes.
Sure.
The regular standard 12 is like 80.
Yeah, around here. So at my store, I think like 12 probably runs for about 70, but then 12 cask strength. Well, no, 12 is actually for like 60. 12 cask strength is like 77. And it's about the same. I think that's about the same for the 15. But then like once you get up to the 21, we charge a lot more than I've seen for other places, but I've heard it's even more like where you guys are. So
yeah, it's bonkers.
Yeah. And like I said, there's nice little surprises on certain bottles here and there. But for the most part, like just your standard stuff, like Lefroy quarter cask used to be $65, and you can't, like, $65 Canadian, that's unbelievable. But then it went up to 70, then 75. Now it's 88, $89.
Yeah.
And that's the LCBO for you. If the better something does, the higher they charge for it every following year. And it's a pattern that has gone all the way across the board.
Yep.
Benjamin orders his stuff from Cali because it's half the price of what he pays in South Carolina.
Wow.
That's crazy.
And normally, it'd be like, wow, half price. How is that even possible? But here I am. Like, I know it's entirely possible. So it's kind of messed up.
Peter says the RB21 ranges 190 to 250 Canadian.
Yeah, I was
That's
talking
not too much different from what we have here, actually.
Yeah, that's not too bad. But again, I can't speak to the 21 too often because I don't check. I haven't purchased one. I don't check the prices, but I do know the 12 has gone up too. And 7-8 years ago, it was around $60-$65, just the regular. I know everything's gone up since then.
Yeah,
but,
for sure.
No matter where you are. But
well, and now we're chasing you guys on Scotch prices just because of the tariffs.
Oh, sure, yeah.
So that's something we haven't seen too much of it yet because we don't have too much turnover with single malt stock. But for like the new limited releases, we've started to see jumps of $20 to $30 minimum.
Wow.
Yeah. So like the Ardbeg Black came in 160 when Drum was 130. I think the new Macallan was jumped up, like the Macallan Edition 6, I think. That jumped up about $20 or some such. Yeah.
Wow.
How much of that black is floating around?
Very, very little. Actually, at my liquor store, I wasn't allowed to buy it because we had so few bottles that they wanted to leave it for customers. So luckily, Erica hunted some down for me because she's fantastic.
Awesome. And kudos to the integrity of yourself and your shop.
Yeah,
that's fair enough.
Honestly, I mean that it is just one bottle. You're not flipping it for profit. The intentions are good, but still the fact that you adhere to that and they had that policy is awesome, because we don't have that in Ontario.
No, we don't.
and we have multiple stores that make over $6 billion a year. So
Sure.
it's sad on that level, but
well, and that's I think that's just the way to do it. I mean, there are certain limited bottles where for the Glendronach 15, that was just a no-go. Like it was like he told us right ahead of time, you're not allowed to buy this one. We've got 3 bottles, those have to go to customers.
it's so delicious.
Yeah. But there's other ones for I think we had a what was it? Eagle Rare store pick that people lined up the block for. And I got to buy one, but we had to get every single person through that line. And then I had the opportunity to buy one.
No, and that's awesome. That's fantastic.
That's way to do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
It's a lot different than here. It's like, oh, we're going to have so many bottles today. Oh, well, I mean, somebody that works here bought them all, but
system here says you have 14 bottles. No, we only have 1. What are all those bottles there just sitting there in the back? They're going home with us, the employees.
Yep.
Yeah, that is a dick move.
Yeah. Whiskey Jason, just bottle of Redbreast 21 for €125 in Germany. That's a pretty darn good price.
Yeah. Ridiculously good.
Whiskey Jason, I hope everything is well with you over in Germany. I know Europe's having a bit of a time right now as well.
Kind of everywhere.
Yeah.
It's a time for sure.
I'm trying not to get into it, but I do wish everybody well. Hope everybody's holding up fine and stuff.
Yeah.
But this should be a bit of an escape from all of that. So
for sure.
Benjamin Eve says the Jack Daniel's Heritage Barrel, he got the 2018 for $80 and the 2019 was $200.
Oh geez.
Yeah, and that happens.
Yeah.
And I believe they sold such a ton of them. I know it's a hot ticket item up here because we've got 0 in Canada. I believe if they did, they went to Quebec or Alberta in very limited numbers, and they would have been scooped up by flippers instantly. But it is a hot bottle up here, the Heritage Barrel, that's for sure. Apparently it's tasty too, so at least it backs it up a little bit there. But that's quite an increase. And there might be reasons. I mean, if that happens to have, some considerably older whiskey or some casks that were more unique or rare, which probably isn't the case with Jack Daniel's, but it's possible. So, yeah.
Crazy.
Well, I think that is something I always keep in mind with pricing is if they're not telling you exactly what's in the bottle, there may be a very good reason for the price increase. You don't know.
Sure. Yep.
There could be, like you say, there could be really old stuff. There could be some new cask they got in that was very expensive, depending on what type of whiskey it is, blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, if they don't tell us that and they don't tell us the reason for the pricing, then it's also pretty easy to assume you're just price gouging, or the distributor marked it up, or we're just paying for the marketing.
Yep. It could be a lot of things, but the corporate world is very jaded, so people tend to think that it's the worst reason.
Right.
And they're right more than 50% of the time.
Which is why, just do what the craft guys do and just tell us. Well, most of the craft guys, that's also not always the most open, but just try to be more transparent. If there's a reason I'm paying this much more for a bottle, I would love to know why.
Absolutely. Yeah. The more transparency, the better, in basically all cases. The only thing a mystery does is get people to assume the worst.
Mm-hmm.
Graham Young popped in watching from work. Graham, thank you very much for going in and doing what you're doing. I can't even imagine what you are going through, and we do appreciate it. Graham is a physician. So thanks, buddy. I know it's got to be stressful, and appreciate what you're doing, and also appreciate you taking a few minutes to kind of escape with us and join us for a dram. So here's to you and to all the other frontline workers right now.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Talisker 10 never ceases to disappoint. It is such a fantastic dram.
It is.
And
it is really good.
This bottle I might do like a review solo video on that because I have a tiny bit of time now being at home.
Oh, it's good. Just a tiny bit.
This bottle of 10. Dwyer, when did we go to Newfoundland? August 2018, I bought this bottle of Talisker. I decanted it into this 8-ouncer when it got kind of low, and it still tastes as full flavored. It has everything. The nose is punchy as the day that I bought it. It has not. I'd be surprised if a brand new bottle just popped on the cork had a shredded different taste than this.
Nice.
It held up quite.
I have to get in the habit of decanting down to smaller bottles. That stuff like the Dark Storm that I'm probably going to have to kill today because it's
sure.
Gone.
Yeah, that is a good.
I just don't have that like as a habit to transfer things. I'm just so lazy about it. But
it would probably also save on space too. That's another.
It saves so much space. That's the reason why I did it. I literally, if my shelves are literally, I have bottles riding the edge.
I don't have that problem yet, thankfully. Since I moved, I have quite a bit.
You have more space than me, that's right.
But once I start running low, that will probably be much more of an incentive.
Sure.
To shrink some of those bottles down.
Oh, Graham had a patient trade him some Highland Park 18 for taking care of his elderly mom with COVID pneumonia. Very thankful, and that's the very least anybody could do. Graham, I haven't sent you off a package yet, but you will be getting a very fantastic package in return for the wonderful samples that you sent in. We still I haven't gotten into a single one. I'm waiting for potential time to be in person with Brad and Vito to do an episode based entirely around what you sent in.
Yeah, we'll have to work out a good time to.
Yeah, we might have to. It might have to be something I end up mailing to you, and we do on the video. We'll have to see how things go. But yeah, really, really excited for that. Whiskey Jason and Benjamin. Brad put on a Talisker tasting for a few of us local Ontario folks one night, and it was absolutely incredible. It was he brought everything up, and it was entirely blind, was it not, Brad? Yeah. So Brad, he gave it to us, and then we kind of shared our notes and asked some questions and that, and then he would reveal afterwards. And it was actually, considering the intimate environment and already knowing and being comfortable with each other, it was one of the coolest tastings ever.
He says intimate. He means disorganized. And that's fine. I like intimate a lot better than how I would have described it, but it worked out for the most part.
No, all my tastings are supremely intimate.
Sure. It's just you with whiskey. So intimate. Yeah, the fun part of that tasting was just convincing like more than half the people that Talisker Storm was better than Talisker 10, or that they enjoyed it more. Rather, it's all subjective. But there was definitely a few people that were surprised at how much they enjoyed the Storm compared to the 10.
Yeah, I was surprised for sure. I was one of those people. I'm about to pour some, and I've never.
Port Ree is also great. Yeah, Whiskey Jason in the chat is saying.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
How do you pronounce Opadan? Opadan? I'm having the Smoke and Sea Batch 1. It's the straight bourbon whiskey finished in French oak and Islay barrels.
Oh, we just had that one.
It's this is one that Vito, when we were doing blind, I would leave. Vito would pick out one of my whiskeys. I have like well over a hundo, like well over that by now, and I picked it second guess. And it's a I don't know. It's kind of unique. It really does taste like a bourbon finished in Isla barrels. You know what I mean? It's really exactly what it sounds like. But it's extra. It's got. I don't know if it's the what it is with this, but it's one of the dustiest, musty, cottage dresser drawer, dusty corn kind of smells. Like if you filled up an entire musty old wood drawer up the cottage with corn and let it kind of sit for a bit. That's the nose, and I absolutely love it when I get that from bourbon.
So Benjamin in the chat is asking Ed how your tasting business is going.
Well, it's on hold.
Sure. Fair.
Yeah, unfortunately, it is. We're not doing anything right now. We do, because we had a couple people who were looking to do stuff in February, March, and that's just not tenable right now.
Right.
But the good news is we are getting some traction. So hopefully once this thing blows over, we're going to have a few things. We just had someone get a hold of us. A local law firm wants to do like a 40 person tasting, like with food pairings. Yeah. So they wanted to schedule it for May. So we'll see. Hopefully this is maybe blown over. I kind of doubt it will be, but
yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. So it's a lot of bourbon right now. That's kind of, we've done one. I think our last one was Scotch before the break. But especially for the corporate events, I've found bourbon is the go-to.
Sure.
It seems to be the one that's on the rise, right? And it's very popular.
Right.
Yep.
Old fashions are huge right now, and the whole bourbon craze is certainly spreading quite fast in all walks of life. So
yeah. And I think also that's also fun for me, because I think a lot of the corporate people, the old guard really likes Scotch, and I love Scotch, so that's fine. But because there's a lot more younger people drinking bourbon, so a lot of these yuppie types want the bourbon tasting. And it's generally cheaper, so I get to do more bottles or more fun bottles, or whatever. It kind of gives me a little bit more leeway to play with the tasting list. So
yeah, that's awesome. Yep. Whiskey Jason, good night. Thanks for coming out, buddy. Get some rest. Be safe.
See you later. And now Benjamin wants to know just how intimate are these tasting? I don't know if we want to know. Is the description going to get us kicked off of YouTube?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, there's only one way to find out. Contact
Whiskey Experience MKE. But yeah, that's why we are also listed under the escort section of the classifieds.
Sure. What's that Whiskey Experience MKE .XXX? If nothing, then that really should redirect to something.
I know, right? I feel like the tagline should be like something like, "We love bolded, underlined with our whiskey," or something like that.
Sure.
So Ed, what did you think of this? The opening?
I thought it was okay. Erica, that was one Erica saw, because we had at Distill America. Erica saw that one and went rushing to the table. She was all over that. I think her opinion of it was that she liked it. It wasn't. I think she found it to be. Now I can't remember exactly what her tasting notes were. That was a long day, but if I remember correctly, she was saying it leaned more towards the saltiness, and the smokiness was there. But I think it's interesting you describe it as more of that kind of not, I don't know, not stale, but that kind of like old wood.
Yeah.
Yeah, earthy. Yeah.
There's definitely I would never ever guess that this was aged in an Isla cask. It's too hard to pick that out.
Right.
Knowing that it is though, I can, because my brain knows it's in there, and I'm like, okay, so that's where a bit of that smoky kind of tinge at the end is, but it certainly doesn't overpower. And I find it's just really accentuating that dusty, dry corn wood, almost literally as if you just kind of pressed your whole tongue flat up against an old wood, up at the cottage, like unfinished wood. And it stays on the tongue for a while, and I really like that for that reason. It's not necessarily one of my favorites. It's just kind of unique in that way. That don't have many that have those kind of notes.
Well, and I think I found that is somewhat common with bourbons, either finished in Isla or peated, like they peat the malted portion. You generally, at least for that one and like Kings County, for those two, I don't get a whole lot of smoke. The smoke is really, and whatever smokiness is there, whatever peatiness is really there just to add an underlying layer of spiciness, that extra dimension. You're, I think, going into it assuming like this is going to be smoky isn't the way to think about it. It's more like this is going to be earthy. This is going to be a little bit more spicy. This is going to be a little bit more, have that extra darker layer wrapped around it.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what to expect. This is my first. I really wanted to get my hands on the North Star's release of a Heaven Hill that was finished or fully aged, I think, actually. Sorry, not fully aged. It wasn't just finished. It was all, I believe, I don't know, someone's gonna have to look. Yeah, see, 9-year finished in Ardbeg casks.
Oh yeah, I think Whiskey Jason did that one on his show, so it's too bad he ran out. But
yeah, that's one I've been after. I'm a massive North Star fanboy, and when that one did appear, unfortunately in Canada we have like 10 people that buy the entire country's liquor supply. So I never got around to getting one, but I really wanted to try that, and certainly to compare side by side against this one.
For sure.
Because I love those are my two favorite whiskeys right there, Isla and bourbon. So
yeah, you're very much like Erica in that
can't
aspect.
Although I do have to say that other unpeated Highland or Island Scotch is really gaining up on the bourbon.
There's some good ones.
I never thought I'd see the day that I had more Scotch than bourbon, or that I would enjoy heavily peated more than I do bourbon. But here I am. My journey has been an interesting one.
Sure. Yeah. I'm also going to, in honor of the veto-ness.
Yeah, we have to keep that fake sponsorship.
The veto similitude, I think, is what it is. True. I'm going to drink some Monkey Shoulder.
Nice.
Ah, nice. That's Vito will be happy. He's smiling right now, so wherever he is.
Since the chat was talking about it a little bit, I'm going to switch to some 57 North.
Ooh, nice. Nice.
Ben was just mentioning the Rua from down. I think that's from Carolina, right, Ben? Am I totally crazy about that? Or the Rua? I may be totally crazy. That is fantastic. That is really good. So am I thinking of the right one, Ben? Help me out here.
Patrick from My Whiskey Den just showed up in the chat. Hey, Patrick.
Yeah, Charlotte, North Carolina. Yeah. That stuff is really, really good. I was super impressed with what they're doing. It's been a minute since I've had Monkey Shoulder, though. Oh, man.
Oh, this is the stuff right here.
Yeah, Ben says, okay, Ben, I had the standard Rua. That was really, really good. But speaking of, he was talking about the Rua port cask and saying that was like a really weird, dank, musty cellar note. I just had this one. I don't know if you're gonna be able to tell what the hell that is, but somebody brought this to our recent whiskey head tasting. It's Heartwood 14 Convict Resurrection. It's a Tasmanian single malt.
Huh.
It was the freakiest. It's also cask strength. It is the freakiest, weirdest thing I've had. Super musty, super celery, super like old cupboardy, but also like sweet. Like sweet, those little fruit-shaped candies, like gummy candies, mixed in with this musty note. It freaked the hell out of me. And I'm really sad that we're never, ever going to see another bottle over here. I think there was one barrel that they did.
I love that musty note. It's so unique and it's one of those typical notes that non-whiskey drinkers hear and go, why the fuck would you like that?
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I guess I like it. I love the really musty, dank kind of.
I'm with you there. Yeah, musty stuff. Generally, at least.
Yeah.
I will enjoy it. Sometimes it gets a little bit too funky in a weird direction, but
Yeah.
mustiness is definitely usually a positive thing for me.
Yeah. I was gonna say I find that with certain port finishes. There's oh look, it's the wee haze.
Hey.
Hi.
No, where Casey Jones?
Casey Jones.
Oh,
He's sneaky. Casey Jones is sneaky. He could be anywhere.
yeah, right. But I was gonna say, I think I think port finishes can, once they get beyond just fruity, grapey, jammy, they get really, really weirdly vegetal and musty. And I think that's something I had problems with the Bushmill 16. The first time I had it was like, why does this taste like eating roots out of the garden?
That's quite earthy.
Yeah.
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 That'd probably be okay.
Quite
with that.
earthy and vegetal, as earthy
Yeah.
and vegetal.
I don't know. I'm sure some people like that. I think sometimes it goes a little too far.
Right.
Yeah.
I get something a little bit like that with like Connemara. Is a very sort of rooty, earthy kind of. There's definitely some vegetal nonsense going on in here, but I like it.
Yeah.
One of my favorite drams at 40% ever.
Well, it's funny. We were just talking about this on the St. Patrick's Day stream, but Connemara cask strength, I feel like, is the biggest difference between a 40% whiskey and a cask strength whiskey I've ever seen.
Have you had the Lot 40 cask strength?
No, I have not.
Oh,
See, that would probably that would be the number one for me.
Yeah.
From 40% regular version to the cask strength version. They're two separate whiskeys essentially.
Yeah.
It's not the same at all.
I know you like Lot 40.
Yeah.
You are gonna literally you won't believe it. You're not gonna believe it. And actually, you know what? I'm gonna disagree with you, Brad. The Alberta Premium.
Oh, see, I haven't had the cask strength
because
version of that one.
regular Lot 40 isn't terrible whiskey.
Right. It's still at least okay, it's good, yeah.
And
fair.
But regular Alberta Premium is terrible and the cask strength is fantastic. And you'll definitely be trying both of those.
Yeah, I've heard the Alberta Premium cask strength is amazing, but I haven't had the chance to have it yet. So I only have the horrible experience of having regular Alberta Premium.
I have a bottle at James's house, and I have 8 ounces here, so you'll definitely be getting a fat sample, Bradley. And definitely bringing some down to the States because it is. You would never. There's not. I would put any somm, any experienced whiskey tuber up to a blind and giving them the regular Alberta Premium and then the Alberta Premium cask strength. And there's nothing that you could do to convince them that that came from the same friggin' distillery.
Nice.
And I think that it's something Canada, and there's no doubt that they did that because of the success of the Lot 40 cask strength. There's no doubt in my mind. It's got to be 100% because they saw the hype. And they were just selling out. It's one of the most sought after bottles, but it's for a good reason. It's not because it's rare. It's because it tastes fantastic. So if more distilleries start following suit, I think we're going to see hopefully some stuff that is really showing Canada's potential from a lot of these distilleries that actually might be making some really great whiskey before they water it down to that bare minimum 40% and send it out by the millions, right?
Sure.
Yep.
Well, also the question is then, like, if during the proofing down process, how are they doing it? I mean, are you getting water shock because you're trying to just put it out as quick as possible?
Yeah, and I
Probably
mean,
part of it. At
yeah,
least for some.
for sure. Like if you look at Crown Royal, like there's they're just like I don't know. I don't think they can pump water out of their source fast enough to get it in there. You see, there you go. So Peter, quickly, Donald, thanks for popping in, buddy. Appreciate it, and stay safe yourself. And thank you again for doing what you're doing, buddy, because it's certainly essential, and we appreciate it. Both Peter White and Graham say that the Alberta Premium cask strength this year is better than the Lot 40 cask strength this year.
Wow, that's high praise and a high benchmark because I really love the Lot 40 cask strength.
Me too, big time.
I feel like this is something mythical, like it's like Bigfoot or the Loch Ness monster.
I mean, it's not like life changing or anything, but like it's really damn.
Yeah,
I just hear Canadians talking about it, and for me, it's just like a folk myth, you know.
It's all we got, man. It's all we got.
I think it's the trying to overcompensate because Americans don't believe that decent Canadian whiskey exists because they don't get any of it.
Yeah, and we have more than just that. That is amongst the top. Might be even the best that isn't some super rare bottle that you can't buy anymore.
Peter is saying there's tons of Alberta cask strength
in the state. If you can get one of those, Ed, you will be just blown away. It is a fantastic rye. It's one of my favorites for sure. And again, stark contrast. Like, have you had regular Alberta Premium?
No,
if not, you do run a channel called the Rotgut Review. You might need to get on that.
Wait, was Dark Horse an Alberta product?
It is. It's like the fancy version.
Okay, no, I had that one. I don't think I've had Premium.
I heard that Dark Horse was actually really good. I never got
It's all right. I have some. It's not the worst. It's definitely a hell of a lot better than the regular Alberta Premium.
The thing for Dark Horse with me was that I had it before I had any other rye. And so I think I'd be interested to try it again because when I first had it, I was like, oh, this is amazing. And it got me started on drinking rye. And I wonder if I went back to it now, would I love it as much? And I'm scared to. I don't want to. I'm
going to go ahead and say you probably won't.
Probably not. You never know. I mean, maybe.
I find
sometimes the memory is enough to make the experience enjoyable, right? Like your brains are weird, so who knows?
Yeah. I find for me that happened a lot with bourbon and rye as I became more experienced and tried more varieties and offerings. Some of the bourbon that I previously thought was just fantastic is now really I couldn't even be bothered.
So when Peter White was talking about Alberta Premium cask strength being in the US, he meant like all of the things that they ship their whiskey to in somebody else's bottles, like Whistle Pig used to do, and I don't know if they still do any, but they used to basically be Alberta Premium. Now the last couple of years they've had their own stuff too, but like there's a bunch.
Look at our Arthur Lopez here, scored some huge points. Only good things to come out of Canada. Lot 40 cast strength. Brad, myself, Donald Rance, Arduino versus Evil, which I actually don't know what that is, and Dead Mouse. Interesting point. My good friend of mine lives beside Dead Mouse.
Oh,
Wow!
Yeah.
Also throwing
Yeah.
Vito under the bus. That's real nice. I like it.
Extra points there too.
Extra points. Sure.
if you're not on the show, you don't count.
Yeah, that's true.
Fair.
I mean,
Ben says like Buffalo Trace was the one he thought was great back when.
yeah, for big time for me. Hardcore thought Buffalo Trace was pretty darn good for at this point right now. I really don't even enjoy it. I would never buy a Buffalo Trace. I haven't rebought one in 4 or 5 years, and I probably won't. That's a big that's one that I really don't enjoy, actually.
I was over in Madison, which is the only place in Wisconsin you can apparently get Buffalo Trace. Everywhere else it isn't distributed. But I decided to buy some just because we never see it around here. Sure. When we switch over to my stream, I'll hop on this and see if it's as good as I remember it.
It's not. I don't know. It's not bad.
I mean, it's bourbon. You know, what can you do?
It's sweet cardboard.
Yeah, kids in the hall. That's awesome, Ben.
Kids in the hall are coming back.
They are. I cannot wait. I'm super pumped for that.
I am excited and worried.
Yeah. As we always have to be, right? They go back to stuff that we love.
I think who was it? Jason Busey, who I am now realizing I misspelled your name on our Patreon list from our last video. Sorry about that.
How dare you?
I think where was that? Oh no, sorry, it was Graham Young. Jason was talking about the Sagamore. Yeah, Sagamore is great, but no, Graham Young was saying Bushmills is like a dirty beetroot tone, and then finishes sweet. That's exactly what it is. It's exactly what it is. And people were like, no, you just had a bottle that was like oxidized or something. You need to go back and try it. And I'm like, I don't know.
I didn't mind. I enjoyed the Bushmill 16 the last time I did. Oh no, that was 21. Do they have a 21?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I don't think I've had the 16.
What does it go? Red, black, white, 16, 21? Maybe. I don't know.
10. There's a 10 in there. Is that their standard?
I think the 10 is when it switches from blended to malt, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because that's the Bushmills 10's pretty for the price for what you're getting. Pretty tasty dram.
I like Bushmills. I do like Bushmills. I just think that 16 is an aberration from the line for me.
All right, we're going to have to ban Still Crazy from the chat here because he thinks Whitest Kids You Know is better than Kids in the Hall, and that's just unacceptable.
I do really like Whitest Kids You Know.
They are also great. I'm not going to deny that. But,
I just realized that I only had the top chat on, so I've been missing tons of messages. So
unprofessional.
Hopefully I didn't. Hey, Will. Good to see you, buddy. From Whiskey Crusaders. I didn't even see. There's tons of people here now.
So many people.
Holy moly. All right.
They're all coming in just in time for us to end the stream so that we can get ready to move over to Rotgut Review here in a few minutes.
Yay! Thirsty Thursday. Come on over.
Yeah.
Bunghole to bunghole.
You cannot. Sorry, I'm the worst here. Once something goes, there we go. Okay, I'm so not computer savvy. Oh, cheers, Graham. Appreciate that, buddy.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Because I can't thank you enough, Graham. We really appreciate it, guy.
Here's to social distancing for sure. It's what we would be doing tonight anyway. Really.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Ben, I'm on, or I don't know if you're asking people at home. I am having some Oppidan Smoke and See, which is their straight bourbon finished in Isla cask, and I'm on my last little sip here.
I'm just about done this Talisker 57 North.
And I'm
So
still
good.
drinking Monkey Shoulder, the official whiskey of all vetoes everywhere.
That seems accurate. That seems fair.
Awesome.
One of these days, we'll get that sponsorship.
Yeah, yeah.
Ben Demon Hunter, thanks for quickly popping in there. DJ11, thanks for listening. Saw you up there that you were listening. Yeah, can you give me like 8 minutes, cowboy? Thanks, dude.
Did he find Casey Jones? I'm dying. The mystery.
Did you find
here.
Casey Jones, buddy? Awesome stuff.
Excellent.
Yeah, you got the Casey Jones that I had.
Good. I'll be able to sleep tonight, knowing that Casey Jones is not hiding somewhere.
Casey Jones. That's a character from Ninja Turtles?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, he's the one with the mask. He's the one with the mask and the hockey stick.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I know. I remember that.
Someone you don't want to not know where he is. Like,
Yeah,
you need his location.
Could be in your house right now.
Right. Clearly, he's not in mine, so I'm good. Yeah, fine.
Eric Waite is currently sitting on his front porch on a rocking chair, I think. Probably with a nice big dram of something. He may or may not have a shotgun, but he is certainly making sure that nobody's walking on his lawn.
Sure.
Yeah.
Awesome. The Weller. I didn't try the 2018, Ben. Okay, cowboy.
Well, I think we're probably about time to cut this off anyway and get ready to switch over to Rotgut Review in a few minutes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we might as well just prep for that.
Well,
which is code for I need more water.
Right. Yes. Yeah. We can take a wee break and then we'll hop back on over on my channel. Which, if you're not subscribed, why aren't you subscribed to my channel, people? Come on.
Yeah, if you aren't subscribed and liking Rotgut Review, we don't like you as much as the people that are.
True.
I mean, that's straightforward.
It's true. So we'll see. Hopefully, most people, at least, over there in 7 minutes or so.
Cool.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Sláinte, guys. Be safe.